Robert Downey Jr. is returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and there's one word fans keep using to describe the former Iron Man actor's return.
Desperation.
At San Diego Comic-Con 2024, Marvel revealed that RDJ would be making his return to the MCU as an alternate universe version of the fabled Fantastic Four villain Dr. Doom. While the Comic-Con crowd went nuts, the casting was swiftly met with more mixed reviews online. One Redditor posted, "The worst creative decision since the return of Palpatine in Episode 9.
Somehow Palpatine returned."
Another user wrote that it reeks of desperation and added that the news that Anthony and Joe Russo will also be returning to helm the next two Avengers films is, quote, "giving me the same energy as J.J. Abrams returning to do Star Wars." A brisk scroll through X reveals similar posts claiming the news reeks of desperation and that it, quote, "shows signs that Marvel is desperate."
Well, you do seem like you're in desperate need of leadership.
Why, thank you.
That word, desperate, is one that shows up again and again and again among the immediate reactions from Marvel enthusiasts. Much as one might like to chalk this up to the typical overblown fan response, it is hard to read this as anything other than a flop sweat-soaked move of epic proportions. This weekend should have been a triumphant one for Marvel, with the studio capping off a record-breaking box office opening for Deadpool and Wolverine with a slew of exciting Comic-Con announcements. Instead, the RDJ as Dr. Doom news only seemed to underline just how much of a pickle the MCU is in.
You must be truly desperate.
The past 5 years have been pretty rough for the biggest franchise in the world. The multiverse saga has struggled immensely to find its footing, coming off as anticlimactic so hot on the heels of Avengers Endgame and the conclusion of the Infinity Saga with it. Yet, as much as the finger of blame can be pointed at factors beyond Marvel's control, including the pandemic, the death of Chadwick Boseman, and Jonathan Majors' arrest and conviction, the house that Kevin Feige built has only made things worse by seemingly learning the wrong lessons from all the missteps it made along the way. Take how the disappointing Eternals was followed by Spider-Man No Way Home soaring high near the end of 2021. The lesson that should have been imparted is that big swings don't always land, but it's important to keep innovating and taking risks anyway. Instead, Marvel Studios has elected to attempt to replicate the formula of No Way Home by making even more films that rely heavily on nostalgia and cameos as selling points, culminating with the announcement about RDJ and the Russos. It's working okay financially for the studio so far, as most recently evidenced by the massive turnout for Deadpool and Wolverine. But what happens if audiences tire of this approach before Marvel is ready to actually go out on a limb again? You can see how playing Doom might appeal to Robert Downey Jr. Besides the truckload of cash that Marvel undoubtedly dumped in his driveway to entice him back, it's a role he narrowly missed out on playing 2 decades ago in the 2005 Fantastic Four movie. Not to mention, it's an opportunity for him to pull a historical heel turn, the kind that would only further cement his legacy in the superhero genre after his run as Tony Stark.
I don't trust a guy without a dark side.
He'll probably be great in the role too, because he's Robert Downey Jr., and he's yet to be bad in a movie he's even half invested in. The thing is though, Marvel doesn't need RDJ as Doom to work in the long term. The true gambit is betting that audiences will be intrigued enough to see how the casting pans out to make the next 2 Avengers movies into a cultural event. And who's to say it won't work? Bringing RDJ back into the mix may yet give Marvel the space it needs to take its time and come up with a truly sustainable plan for the future. One that isn't based on a dwindling supply of nostalgia. But it's a desperate measure in a desperate time all the same, and the fans are right to call it out as such.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.